Now, spokesperson for the NDC 2020 campaign, James Ejening Boateng, says the party's running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, will deliver a policy statement which will resonate with the masses and also gear towards improving lives. The party is expected to adore its running mate this evening. James Ejening Boateng has been telling us what to expect.
She will be formally outdoored or inducted. So on this day, later this evening, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman will make her maiden statement, which is more of her maiden major policy statements. Today, when you look at the political landscape, how many professors of her caliber do we have on the political landscape today? How many women have risen to the level that she has? How many of our politicians, male or female, have done many years plus in the lecture halls, lecture theaters, training people, grooming them, modeling them and shaping them up and making them take up all sorts of courses and professions? I mean, so I have absolutely no doubt at all that she is a fantastic person. She's more suited for the role, and she's maybe even overqualified for the role.
I see. And you mentioned that she's going to make her maiden policy statement. What should you expect from that statement? Is she going to be the type where she would throw the finest jab at the government, Nando, the president, and then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, or what? What should you expect from the maiden policy statement?
What she brings to Ghanaian politics today is decency, dignity, respect for all. I mean, it's not about throwing jabs. There's a job to be done. Right. There's life to be improved. She brings a lot of those things to the table. So if you are expecting jabs and tantrums throwing, I mean, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It does appear that perhaps maybe today's political office has become synonymous to that, and that's why you are expecting that. I'm sorry to disappoint you and all the people who might be expecting that. I mean, what Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman brings is dignity, self-respect, respect for the people who will follow the program, promoting causes that she's very passionate about. So expect, I think, I mean, she's here to raise the bar, not to lower.
Well, head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, joins me via Zoom to give us some more on what to expect tonight. Evans, you had James Ejening Boateng saying that she is here to raise the bar. I know the conversation about what she brings on board has been going on for some time, but there's a reason why people should tune in tonight.
Absolutely. There is a significant reason why you should tune in tonight. And you heard him say what Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman stands for and what her approach is going to be. What we're going to do tonight is to unpack that puzzle. I mean, there are things about the prof that you don't know yet. And that is why we are calling this ticket, Solving the Jane and John Puzzle. We're going to try and put the pieces together and answer the basic fundamental question, how the two combine to deliver victory for the NDC. Can they and will they and how should they? So you should watch out for the strategy notes, all based on real research and analysis. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. I mean, we expect this to be pretty revealing. Some of it a bit controversial, but you see the evidence. You're going to look at the story in the numbers. You're going to go all the way back to 1992 and track the history of the NDC, but also see how that history is relevant to this particular ticket ahead of listening to her. Then, of course, once we've heard her, we're going to lay the foundation leading up to her speech. You will hear her speech address policy issues, and we're going to go into her history. You'll probably make more sense of what she will say tonight if you follow our analysis leading into what she will say today. So I'm really looking forward to this. Very fascinating stuff later tonight.
Very much, Cross, for this conversation. But Evans, what time are we starting? I know that the program by the NDC is at 7 p.m. at the UPSA. We'll be there live. But what time should listeners tune in for the ticket?
I mean, you could expect this all the way from 6. We're going to start this all the way from 6. We have a strong team, myself, Kojo Jackson, Winston, MFR Powell, Araba Kumsin, Parker. We're going to be all over this. I mean, this, by the way, is your election headquarters. That is what you've come to expect of us in an election year. And we're going to try and do justice to this and bring you unparalleled analysis. I say you can find this is the best political team anywhere on the broadcasting landscape. We're going to deploy all our resources to make this happen from 6 o'clock all the way to when they finish. And of course, BMXS will continue the conversation. So this is going to be a packed night of real analysis, of breaking down the issues, the textual analysis, what she says, how she said it, what she meant, what she didn't say, and what it means. And how she compliments John Dramani Mahama to deliver victory. So, yes, tune in from 6.
Very interesting then. I don't know why anybody will want to miss this. Thank you very much, Evans, for bringing us some more detail on what we should expect tonight from 6 p.m. Radio, TV, online. We'll be live from the UPSA campus. You want to stay with us because this is your election headquarters. And we have some more stories on election for you. Residents of Asawase are protesting the construction of a major bridge over concerns of poor quality. A month ago, 2 people sustained injuries after police were called in to restrain residents who had gone to the project site to halt construction. Now, ahead of the Joy Ballot Box program in the constituency, the angry residents told JoyNews they will not vote for the governing NPP if the assembly man or the municipal assembly refuses to heed their calls. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has been speaking to some residents in Father's report.
There
reason why we were here today, we were standing here today, is because of the bridge that the DCE made. The MCE is not the right thing that he has done, because this is not how we were here before. He himself, he knows. And I will say this again, he knows how we were here. He wants us to live here. That's why he did this to us. And when he was started doing it, we have already told him that the bridge is just smallish for the water, for the river to pass here.
I even wonder if the constructor who made this bridge is actually a professional. I don't believe he's a professional, because what kind of visibility studies did he do to actually do this kind of work? Because this is not a professional work. This is not a professional work.
The residents protested against the construction of the bridge. The police were called in to maintain law and order, but some of the residents got injured in the process.
We are pleading with Halidu. Yesterday, for instance, a lot of belongings were destroyed. The widow was peacefully talking to the police, but they hit her. Now one man and a woman are being rushed to the hospital. We want to tell you, Mr. President Akufo-Addo, we will not vote for you because of Halidu. He doesn't respect the people of Zango. Hence, we will not vote for you.
I've gone through a lot. Yes, I've gone through a lot.
As for propaganda, it's something that you cannot do without. As a politician, you just take it in good faith. But I think that once you also have the quest to explain yourself, people will get to understand that at the end of the day, you become exonerated.
And as you can see, that the residents are very much enraged. They have a lot of issues and they need a platform to voice them. That is why we will bring you the Joy ballot box from that constituency. Keep your fingers crossed. We'll keep you posted on when the ballot box will be in that constituency. Now, since 1992, two political parties have dominated the political and governance landscape. Now, this despite the many political parties that exist or are registered. The EC, as of 2018, put the figure at 23. In the last 12 to 8 years, we have seen some independent candidates contest. A few have been successful at the parliamentary level, but we are yet to see anything close to success at the presidential level. I have been speaking to a man who believes 2020 is the year for that paradigm shift. His name is Marik Kofi Ghani. Watch this.
Gary was about 5 Ghana cedis and Olonka somewhere in November last year. This year is about 12 Ghana cedis. That's a huge jump. And that doesn't sound to the ordinary man on the street like an economy that is working and that is better than any other economy they're seeing elsewhere.
But you understand the dynamics. You know how some of these things go up, the inflation, the exchange rate and all of that. And it doesn't only affect the ordinary person. The people you say are in the 2% category are also affected. Well, it depends on how you think they are affected. Let me give you another example. When I'm driving or when I get on an STC bus going to WA, for example, the ordinary man in the same bus as I am has to go to the Tuna Solar Road, terrible road. The man in authority is either going to go by flight or is going to go in his V8. He doesn't feel what the state of the road is in. I feel the state of the road. The ordinary man in Tuna Solar feels the state of the road. So, you know, it's not, we don't feel the same things in the same ways. I go on the street every day when I'm driving home, sometimes run around Kwashima. You see, I have to literally stop and ask little children on the street at 9 p.m. And so I will saying, some will say 20, some will say 10. I have to literally take the water off them, pour it in my car. I don't need the water, but I need those kids to go home. So we can say all we want about the economy on paper doing well. The reality is that for the ordinary Ghanaian man on the street, the economy is not doing well. You've been campaigning already? We have been doing a lot of work, yes. What do you think is going to change in this year's campaign, and are you ready? I'm more than ready. I mean, and I like to say that this is not just me being ready. I think Ghanaians are ready to sort of make history this time round. A lot is going to change because, you know, campaign this year is different. It's not, you know, sometime in 2016, by this time, you know, the big parties would have been out by now holding rallies and that's the nature of it. And then from rally, you go to the usual door-to-door and all that, all the way to December, throwing big money around. That hasn't been the case this year, and I pray it stays the same, because what it has done is that it's leveled the playing field. How exactly? It's leveled the playing field because this year, for example, as I said, nobody's doing rallies, at least not yet, at least not now. What it means is that we all have access to Ghanaians in their homes. And it's the best person who is the smartest or has the smartest way of getting to those people that's going to win the election. The other thing I think that has become very obvious is that people, I think we've gotten to a point where Ghanaians have immediately suddenly seen that we've done this for 27 years and it hasn't brought us any result, and that we need to change this. You know, you would really need to convince them, if you are in the NDC or the MPP, as to why they should vote for the NDC or the MPP, because now they can feel it. You know, previously it was okay because people would get a 500 there, 1,000 there, but this time around, people are feeling it. You think? Thanks for staying with us here on News Desk. Now, the Northern Regional Police Command has begun investigations into an assault case against a security man at the Northern School of Business. Now, Abdul Rahman, who is currently unconscious and on admission at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The Northern Regional Crime Officer Superintendent Kobna Otwe-Champon said the suspect is in their custody and will be charged with assault.
Yes, the investigation so far we have conducted has established that on the 24th of this month at about 11 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., two students, a female age 18 and then a male student also age 22, were in front of the school dining hall, and then the security man chanced upon them, and we are told that he struck the lady, the female student with a cane, and then the student ran back to the dormitory. So in his bid to arrest the male student, a scuffle ensued, and we are told that the student pushed the security man, and then he landed his head on the ground and then sustained that injury.
What were the two students doing that warranted the strike by the security man?
Yes, according to the school, it is unusual for students to be out in the night like that. So, according to the students, we have cautioned them, and what they tell us is that they were conversing when they saw the security man. Then the female student ran back to the dormitory. So,
reports that the two students were having sex in the dining hall is not true?
We have not established that.
Now, have you been able to arrest the suspect involved? Because these are adults, they are more than 18 years, even though there's a protocol. Do you have them in your custody? What happens?
Yes, he is currently with us. He was arrested yesterday night, and then he still remains in our custody. We have been able to establish contact with his uncle who brought him to school. The uncle is in Kumasi. He says he wouldn't be able to come, so he has informed his parents in Boko. So we are expecting that tomorrow the parents will come. According to the school authorities, this student has not formally reported to school. He doesn't also come to class. And we are told that he lives in a rented room in the town. So he's not in the school on campus. That is what we have been told. As for the lady student, we have cautioned her and released her to the school authorities.
What is he likely to be charged with?
Assault.
Now, the coalition of affected DKM customers in Nkranza in the Bono East region have expressed disappointment in government for failing to capture DKM issues in the mid-year budget review read by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. They indicated that the affected customers suffered incessantly since May 2015, adding that COVID-19 pandemic has worsened their plight. Now, JoyNews' Anas Abit was at a news conference organized by the group and has come through with this report.
In February this year, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in his fourth State of the Nation address, stated that his government has made arrangements to pay all depositors of failed financial institutions, including DKM. However, 5 months after the said promise, affected customers of DKM are yet to receive any amount from government. At a press briefing held by the coalition of affected DKM customers in Nkranza in the Bono East region, the group, led by its public relations officer Nana Kwabena Iyadom, questioned why government failed to mention DKM in the mid-year budget review read by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in Parliament.
Your Excellency, President of this great republic, we are a coalition of affected DKM customers whose plight you sought to redress during your last State of the Nation's address on 20th February 2020. We had until then relied on the hope of your campaign promise to ensure all monies are duly paid to us. This hope has indeed grown bleak after listening to your able Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, who was completely silent on the DKM matter in the mid-year budget reading. What has become of the promise made to us for full payments by the Vice President in his town hall meeting at KNUST? What has become of your own promise to the chiefs, Nananom, and people of the Bono East Traditional Council for full payment of the principals of the affected DKM customers Mr. President? But above all, what has become of the promise you made to the entire nation during your State of the Nation's address, SONA, in 20th February 2020 about DKM? We find it worrying why nothing is being said about DKM. Is the government lying to us?
The team indicated that the COVID-19 pandemic has taken a toll on their lives and urged the president and government to keep their promises by at least offering them stimulus packages capable of sustaining them. For most people in the Nkranza municipality, the collapse of microfinance institutions prior to the 2016 elections has led to the people losing confidence in the banking sector.
In Nkranza, as it stands now, I tell you, my brother, nobody wants to go into bank and then put his money there again. Looking at those whose monies have been locked up, not to talk about only DKM, other banking institutions, it's a very big challenge which the government think, or maybe feels that the cleanup is working, but I tell the government that, or I'm saying it on authority, that the people has lose what? Confidence in the banking sector as it stands now.
They therefore called on government to consider paying them their locked up monies or risk losing their votes in the December polls.
You wrote on this to assume this political height, and posterity can attest to this. Let not your words fall flat before your subjects, citizens who have reposted trust in you. We are in an election year. Once more, and pray you to do due diligence. I repeat, we are in an election year. Once more, and pray you do due diligence.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Nkranza.
Now, transport operators in the country say they will not reduce fares after President Akufo-Addo lifted restrictions in the transport sector. They say COVID-19, social distancing protocols and other factors forced a 15% increment some days ago, but the prices will remain even after the president directed them to operate at full capacity. Here is Public Relations Officer of the Greater Accra JPRTU, Ibrahim Abbas Imoro.
From the Circle Lorry Terminal, and it is on the back of President Akufo-Addo's address yesterday, lifting restrictions on the transport sector. You remember that truck drivers and taxi drivers were directed to only pick 3 people in their vehicles. I mean, depending on the car, it would have to be 2. In order to ensure the social distancing protocol. Now that restriction has been lifted. We are here at the Circle Terminal to gauge the mood and find out what it is like, here. As you can see, the place is already buzzing with activity this morning. But before we get to the terminal, though, let's speak to some persons who are buying, some watching here this morning. Let me speak to, sir, you're welcome to Joy News.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, President Akufo-Addo yesterday lifted restrictions on on the transport sector. So it means that the truckers can go back to picking, their normal passengers. I want to find out what you make of that.
For me, since we'll be wearing the nose masks, I don't think I have a problem. Okay. Because if you are able to follow the precautionary measures, I think it will help all of us to be safe.
But do you think that people would strictly wear the face mask? Do you think people will strictly wear the face mask?
Oh, they should. For their safety, I think it will be.
Okay. So, but would you have wished, that a restriction was still in place?
Pardon me?
Would you have wished that the restriction on the transport sector would have still been in place?
Well, the transport owners are also complaining, and it's about business. And if the business is suffering, I think it's in the right direction for the restriction to be lifted.
Okay. Finally, before you go, they increased fares because of that. Do you think they should reduce the fares to the fares?
The sad aspect of it. I was thinking the president will look into that. But here we are with this. But I don't know if there will be a review of the transfer fare. If there should be that, it will be fair for all of us.
Thank you very much for talking to us. What's your name again?
My name is Deborah.
Thank you very much. Okay. So you just heard that the gentleman speaking to us on President Akufo-Addo lifting restrictions on the transport sector yesterday. Now, truck drivers can't go back to picking to full capacity. You're welcome to join us.
Thank you.
Okay. Yesterday, President Akufo-Addo spoke to us, and he said you can now pick at full capacity. What do you make of that?
Oh, we are very happy.
Okay. You are very happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you reduce your transport fares because many of you increased it because of that?
But the fuel is not reduced. So it should reduce the fuel so that we can also reduce the fare.
Thank you very much. Okay, sure. So you just had that truck driver saying that it's a good move. And I'm asking him if they would reduce transportation fares because of that. But he says that transportation fares are still up. I mean, the price of petrol is still up. Let's speak to some of the people here. Let's find out from them what they make of this this directive and the lifting of restrictions on the transport sector. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. What's your name, sir? You're welcome to JoyNews.
Yeah. Before I say anything, there's the officers. They are the office.
Oh, no, they've given clearance for us to talk to you. We just want your personal opinion, we just want your personal... Well, the gentleman here is asking where's his nose mask, his face mask actually, and he's telling him to wear his face mask before he talks to us. Well, that's a good thing we've seen here. But we want to find out from him what he makes of the lifting of restrictions on the transport sector. Okay. The president addressed you. The cabinet and by now normal. See, before I speak to him, you can see what's happening in this vehicle right now. It is at full capacity. Previously, you would only find 2 people in this truck, but now it's back to normal with 3 people, on the seats. All of them wearing masks. Just I've just seen one person at the front seat not wearing the mask. So the trucks here at Circle have started operating at full capacity after the lifting of restrictions on the transport sector. Let me speak to you. What do you make of the president's?
No, it's a welcome address.
Okay.
The president have done well because no matter what, we can't be. We can't go backwards. We have to bounce back. The nation have to bounce back. Yeah, so it's a good initiative.
Okay.
We welcome it. So all I can say is that.
Yeah. Was the transportation fare increased because you had to ensure social distancing?
For that one,
was that the reason, or was because of the prices of fuel?
It's a very good question. For that one, I cannot answer that question.
Okay.
Because when the fare was increased because of the reduction of the passengers, it also created the fare to rise. But for that one, for that one, I can't answer that one. We have officers there. You can go and see them. We have our GPR2 officers there. For that fare, I can't talk anything about it.
Okay.
When you go to them, they can talk to you.
Okay. But what do you make of calls for a reduction in the lorry fares now that you're operating at full capacity?
I want to repeat that again. Apart from the fare, I can't talk anything. But when we have bounced back to the normal capacity of loading, that was normal. But the fare, reducing the fare, I don't have anything. I can't say anything about it.
Okay.
Because I have my seniors there. My officers are there. Okay. But it's good. We are bouncing back gradually.
Okay.
Yeah, we are bouncing back gradually.
Okay. What about the passengers? Are they wearing the face mask?
They are wearing. Okay. Because we compel them to wear it. If
And Daryl Cole is standing by with the latest in the world of business. Stay tuned.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Cole. Staff of La Palm Royal Beach Hotel here in Accra have embarked on a sit-down strike protesting against the chief executive officer whom they accuse of running down the company. My colleague Eben Sabute is at the hotel for us right now and joins me with the latest. Talk to us, Eben, about the accusations being leveled against the CEO. If you could unmute, Eben, we cannot hear you. All right, we'll fix the sound issues with Eben Sabute and get back to the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, where staff have embarked on a sit-down strike. Now, moving on to other stories, cashew farming has become very lucrative in the Adaklu district of the Volta region. To encourage more locals to venture into cashew farming, the district assembly is providing farmers with seedlings. They hope this would enable the farmers benefit from government's Planting for Export and Rural Development initiative. Here's Ivy Setoji's report. Cashew farming has become important to many districts, especially for export under the Planting for Export and Rural Development. The Adaklu district, which is one of the poorest in the country, has engaged farmers to work on 200,000 seedlings for distribution. The initiative, according to the district chief executive, is to help improve on the livelihoods of the people who are mainly farmers. Fanuel Kade Donko is DC for the Adaklu district.
So for the year 2020, our target is to raise 200,000 seedlings of cashew, which will be distributed to interested farmers in the district and farmers outside Adaklu district. But priority will be given to our farmers in the Adaklu district. So that is what we are doing. So Adaklu district, in partnership with Ghana Safety Net Project, that is funded by World Bank and the Assembly Ministry of Local Government, we have been able to recruit over 477 workers within the district onto this project. For Adaklu, we have been able to recruit 89 workers.
About 477 farmers, who are mostly women, have been recruited to produce the seedlings, which will be distributed to farmers in and outside Adaklu. Some of the workers have been speaking with Joy Business about challenges faced at the site.
We need help. We are trying our best to increase production. We learned the World Bank is in charge of the project. We are glad about it. We really need financial support.
We need more financial support to be able to pay our workers. There's so much to do. Mr. Donko said, aside from this support to farmers, the Assembly has already cultivated 20 acres of cashew and 2 acres of coconut, a move to boost its revenue. Ivy Setoji's report for Joy Business. Right, and hopefully we can go back to the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, where we understand staff are embarking on a sit-down strike, accusing the CEO of running down the company. We can join Eben Sabute, who is there for us with the latest. Eben, and so what are the accusations leveled against the CEO? Eben, we can't hear you. If you can unmute. All right. Obviously, having audio issues there with Eben Sabute, we will try and fix that and get you the latest from the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, where we understand workers are on a sit-down strike, accusing the CEO of running down the company. Up next is sports. To stay tuned.